Some lands are visited, some are studied. But Scotland is felt in the bones, in the silence, in the mist. That never fully lifts. Where 3-billion-year-old rock splits the earth into valleys so deep they swallow sound, where castles cling to sea cliffs as though the stone itself chose to resist, where a Neolithic village older than the pyramids still holds the shape of beds, where people slept 5,000 years ago. Scotland's coastline runs for over 6,000 miles, 3 times longer than England's. Every mile of it carved by Atlantic storms, storms that have been arriving since before humans had a name for the sea. And yet, in its quietest corners, there is a stillness so complete it feels almost sacred. Mist curls through valleys where massacres happened 3 centuries ago. Wildflowers push through castle ruins. An entire island community, the last 36 souls, walked away from the only home they had known for 4,000 years. Beauty and blood, stone and silence, the ancient and the untamed. This is Scotland, and nothing here has ever been easy to forget. Where the earth breaks open. From above, it looks like the earth cracked open and never healed. Steep ridgelines drop 1,000 meters into a valley so narrow the mountains seem to lean toward each other. Waterfalls thread down dark rock faces. Mist sits low, tangled in the peaks like something trapped and unwilling to leave. This is Glen Co, and it is, by many accounts, the most dramatic valley in the British Isles. But Glen Co is not famous for its beauty alone. On a winter night in 1692, 120 government soldiers had been living among the MacDonald families of this glen for 12 days. They ate at their tables. They warmed themselves by their fires. The laws of Highland hospitality, sacred, older than any king, meant the MacDonalds welcomed them as guests, not enemies. Then, at 5 in the morning on February the 13th, the order came. Kill everyone under the age of 70. The elderly clan chief, Quiraing, was shot in the back as he rose from his bed. 38 men, women and children were dead before dawn. Dozens more fled barefoot into a blizzard. The mountains that had sheltered the MacDonalds for generations became their graves. What made the massacre infamous across Europe was not the scale, it was the betrayal. The soldiers had broken bread with the people they killed. In the Highlands, that violation was worse than murder. Today, Glen Co is silent. No monuments rise from the valley floor. No statues mark where the chief fell. Only the mountains remain, unchanged, indifferent, holding the memory the way only stone can. The Scots call this place the Glen of Weeping. 3 centuries later, the MacDonald name still appears on a stone cross at the edge of the valley. And on the anniversary each February, the mountains are still white, as though the land itself remembers the blizzard that became a mass grave. The glen opens westward toward the sea, but one mountain guards its eastern entrance like a sentinel. Buachai Etiv Mor, the great shepherd of Etiv, a single pyramidal peak rising over 1,000 meters, perfectly symmetrical, standing alone at the head of the valley. From the air, its ridgelines radiate outward like the spine of something ancient and immovable. Behind the mountain, to the east, the landscape flattens into something stranger still. 50 square miles of peat bog, dark water and thin cold wind. This is Rannoch Moor, the largest uninhabited wilderness in the British Isles. No roads cross it, no villages dot its edges. In winter, the silence is so total that walkers report hearing their own heartbeat. The moor does not welcome. It simply exists. But not all of Scotland's ruins were left by violence. Some were left by time and weather alone. At the northeastern tip of Loch Awe, Scotland's longest freshwater loch, a castle stands on a low peninsula, half swallowed by mist and reflection. Kilchurn Castle was built in the 1440s by the Campbells, the same name as the soldiers who carried out the massacre at Glen Co 2.5 centuries later. For 300 years, it served as a seat of power. Then, in 1760, lightning struck its tallest tower. The roof fell. The Campbells walked away and never returned. From above, the ruined towers mirror perfectly in the still water of the loch. On windless mornings, it is impossible to tell where the castle ends and its reflection begins. No one has lived here for over 260 years. The walls still stand, not because anyone preserved them, but because the stone simply refused to fall. The island that dreams. Built. Scotland's Highlands hold centuries of grief in their valleys. But there is a place, just off the western coast, where the land seems to belong to a different world entirely. Nothing on this island sits level. Massive pillars of rock lean at impossible angles. Green plateaus float between vertical cliffs. Landslip terraces drop away in steps, as though some ancient staircase were abandoned mid-construction and left to the wind. This is the Quiraing, the northern tip of the Trotternish Ridge on the Isle of Skye. And in geological terms, the ground here is still shifting. The entire ridge is the result of a massive prehistoric landslide, and the earth continues to move by centimeters each year. Roads crack, fences lean. Nothing here is settled. The Trotternish Ridge stretches for over 30 kilometers along Skye's eastern spine. From the air, it resembles a fractured wall. On one side, green farmland rolling gently to the sea. On the other, a chaotic world of pinnacles, hidden valleys, and rock formations that look designed rather than eroded. The most recognizable of these is the Old Man of Storr, a 50-meter needle of basalt standing alone on the hillside, visible from kilometers away. No one climbed it until 1955. Even now, its summit is rarely reached. But the Quiraing's strangest feature is hidden within the landslip itself. A perfectly flat, oval plateau, known as the Table, sits surrounded by towering rock walls. Local legend holds that cattle were hidden here during clan raids, kept safe in a natural fortress that no outsider could find. Whether that story is true remains uncertain. What is certain is that standing on the Table, surrounded by vertical stone and low cloud, the outside world disappears entirely. The wind drops, sound changes. Even the light arrives dimmer here, filtered through mist and altitude, as though the sky were closer to the ground. Skye has been inhabited for thousands of years. The Vikings named it, possibly from the Old Norse word for cloud. From above, the reason is obvious. On most days, the island's peaks vanish into a ceiling of grey, leaving only the lower slopes visible, a landscape half hidden, half revealed, as though the earth is deciding how much of itself to show. The Isle of Skye draws more visitors than almost any destination in Scotland. Most come for photographs. Few are prepared for how alien it feels. And yet, at the foot of Skye's most forbidding mountains, the land hides something almost impossibly gentle. Beneath the Black Culloden Mountains, ridgelines so jagged they resemble broken teeth against the sky, a series of crystal-clear pools glow turquoise and emerald against dark volcanic rock. The fairy pools of Glen Brittle. Water so transparent that every pebble on the bottom is visible from 3 meters above. Waterfalls cascade from pool to pool, each one colder than the last, fed by snowmelt from the peaks. From the air, the contrast is startling. Black ridgelines tear across the sky. Below them, the pools shine like jewels set in charcoal. The mountains above never soften, but the water at their feet is almost tender. Continuing along Skye's western coast, the cliffs give way to open sea. Neist Point, the westernmost tip of the island, juts into the open water like the prow of a ship. A single lighthouse sits at its end. Beyond it, nothing but ocean until the Outer Hebrides. The last wilderness. Beyond Skye, further north, Scotland becomes something else entirely. The roads narrow, the villages thin out. The landscape empties into a wilderness few travelers ever reach. There is a mountain in the northwest of Scotland that does not look like it belongs. Suilven rises from a vast, flat moorland of ancient gneiss, rock that is 3 billion years old, among the oldest exposed surface geology on Earth. The mountain itself is not tall, just over 700 meters, but it erupts from the plain with such abruptness that it resembles a fortress left behind by a force older than life itself. From the air, Swilven's shape is unmistakable. A long, narrow ridge running east to west, its sides dropping vertically to the moor below. No road reaches it. The nearest parking spot is a 7-kilometer walkaway across trackless bog. And from every angle, the mountain looks different. A dome from the west, a blade from the north, a cathedral from the east. Swilven stands in Assynt, a region so empty it explains a statistic that sounds made up. Over 90% of Scotland's population lives on less than 5% of its land. The entire district has fewer than 1,000 residents. Lochs outnumber houses. Roads are single track, with passing places and often end at the sea. This is the Louisian gneiss landscape, the foundation rock of Scotland, pushed to the surface long before complex life existed on land. Walking here is walking on the bones of the continent. And yet, every spring, golden eagles return to nest on Swilven's ledges. Bog cotton and heather bloom across a moorland that looks, from above, like the surface of another planet. Swilven asks for nothing, offers no history, no story, no human connection. Only scale, silence, and the oldest rock you will ever stand on. The Assynt landscape surrounding Swilven holds over 100 freshwater lochs in an area smaller than most national parks. From above, the water is everywhere, scattered across pale rock and brown moorland like shattered mirrors. Each loch reflects the sky differently. Some are blue, some are black. Some are the color of old tea. There are no fences here, no boundaries visible from the air. Scotland's right to roam laws mean this land is open to anyone willing to walk it. Most are not. And so Assynt remains what it has been for 3 billion years, empty, patient, and older than almost everything. Even in this remote corner, the land hides things beneath the surface. One of them lies underground, where the coast meets something unexpected. On Scotland's north coast, a freshwater river plunges underground and surfaces inside a sea cave that opens directly onto the ocean. How does something like that happen? Smoo Cave, near the village of Durness, is one of the largest sea caves in Britain. Its entrance is 20 meters wide, carved by the ocean over millennia. But deeper inside, the cave changes. A waterfall crashes through a hole in the ceiling, dropping 20 meters from the world above. Daylight streams through the gap. Fresh water meets salt water. Stone meets sky. Archaeologists have found evidence of human habitation here dating back over 6,000 years. Who those people were and what drew them to this collision of forces inside the earth remains unknown. Following the coast westward from Durness, the road ends. But the land does not. The walk to Sandwood Bay takes over an hour across open moorland. There is no road beyond the first mile. No building visible in any direction. The path crosses peat, heather, and shallow streams before dropping suddenly and revealing what many consider the most beautiful beach in Britain. From above, a crescent of pale sand stretches nearly 2 kilometers. A freshwater loch sits just behind the dunes. Sea cliffs rise to over 100 meters on either side. A single sea stack, Ambuachaye, stands offshore like a stone sentinel. No one lives here. No facilities exist. The nearest village is 6 kilometers behind you. Sailors have reported seeing a figure on this beach for over a century. A bearded man in old clothing who appears and vanishes without trace. The wreck of a ship, its timbers occasionally exposed by storm tides, lies somewhere beneath the sand. Whether the stories are true matters less than the feeling of the place itself. The wind here carries salt and peat in equal measure. The sand is cold even in summer, and when the tide retreats, the beach stretches so wide and flat that a person walking across it casts a shadow that seems to go on forever. Sandwood Bay is one of the last stretches of coastline in Europe where human presence has left almost no mark. Before. History. Scotland's wildest corners belong to wind and stone. But far to the north, on a cluster of islands older than the Highlands themselves, the first people of these lands left something behind, and it has survived longer than anyone could have imagined. "5,000 years ago, before the Great Pyramid of Giza was built, before Stonehenge's stones were raised, before the Bronze Age began, a small community of farmers lived in stone houses on the western shore of an Orkney island. They had beds, they had dressers, they had a drainage system, they had storage alcoves set into the walls and central hearths where families gathered. They even had locks on their doors. This is Skara Brae, Europe's most complete Neolithic village, and it was hidden beneath sand for nearly 5 millennia. In 1850, a massive storm ripped across the Bay of Skye and stripped the dunes from a hillside. Beneath them, the rooftops of 8 stone houses emerged, perfectly preserved, connected by covered passageways, as though the residents had simply stepped out one morning and never returned. From the air, Skara Brae is small. A cluster of low stone structures pressed against the shore, exposed to the full fury of the North Atlantic. The sea is meters away. The land is flat, treeless, wind-blasted. And yet, for roughly 650 years, beginning over 5,000 years ago, people chose to live here. They farmed cattle and sheep. They fished for shellfish. They made pottery in a style so distinctive it has been found as far away as Ireland, suggesting not isolation but connection across Neolithic Europe. Among the artifacts recovered, carved stone balls whose purpose remains a mystery. Gaming dice, jewelry made from bone and whale teeth, no weapons of any kind. Why they left is still debated. A storm, a sand invasion, or something else that 5,000 years of silence has made impossible to recover. Today, the stone beds are still in place. The dressers still face the doors. The hearths are cold, but the shape of the life they held, domestic, communal, peaceful, is unmistakable. It is the oldest preserved evidence of ordinary daily life anywhere in Northern Europe. Standing above it, looking down into rooms that were last occupied before anyone on Earth had learned to write, you realize how thin the line between then and now really is. Five kilometers inland from Skara Brae, across Orkney's treeless plateau, an older question waits. Why here? On a narrow strip of land between two lochs, one on each side, like a stage set between two wings of dark water, 27 stones stand in a circle over 100 meters wide. Originally, there were 60. The Ring of Brodgar was raised around 2500 BCE. No one knows by whom. No burials have been found within it. No artifacts recovered from its interior. It is one of the largest stone circles in Britain and one of the least understood. From the air, the ring sits on a peninsula so narrow it appears almost designed, a natural stage between two bodies of water. The stones vary from 2 to 4.5 meters in height, some leaning, some upright, each one a different shape. Some believe it was a gathering place, a Neolithic cathedral without walls. Others suggest astronomical alignment. The stones face certain stars, certain sunsets, certain positions of the moon. The honest answer is simpler. No one knows. And the ring, standing in wind and rain for 4,500 years, offers no explanations. Off the western coast of Orkney's second-largest island, a tower of red sandstone rises 137 meters straight from the sea. The Old Man of Hoy, one of the tallest sea stacks in Britain. From the air, it stands impossibly alone. A needle of rock separated from the cliff by a gap the ocean has been widening for centuries. Geologists estimate the stack may have formed as recently as 400 years ago. It will not last. The sandstone is eroding, the base is narrowing. Within a few human lifetimes, the old man will fall. For now, it stands, defiant, improbable, and temporary. And nearby, the burial chamber of Maeshau adds one final layer to Orkney's depth. Built around 2800 BCE, it is engineered so precisely that on the winter solstice, the setting sun sends a beam of light down the entrance passage and illuminates the back wall for 3 weeks each year. 5,000 years later, the alignment still holds. The blood-soaked Highlands. Orkney's stones mark the beginning of Scotland's story. But further south, in the Highlands, the story turns darker, written not in stone, but in blood. The grass here lies flat, even on windless days. From above, Culloden Moor is unremarkable, flat, open, windswept. A few stone cairns, a scattering of small flags. No ruins, no drama in the landscape. And yet, this is the place where the old Scotland ended. On April the 16th, 1746, the last pitched battle fought on British soil took place on this moor. It lasted less than an hour. The Jacobite army, exhausted, starved, outnumbered, charged into government musket fire and cannon. Between 1,500 and 2,000 Highlanders fell. Government losses were around 300. But the killing did not stop with the battle. In the hours that followed, government soldiers swept across the moor, executing the wounded where they lay. Survivors crawled into barns and farmhouses. The soldiers found them there too. The aftermath reshaped Scotland. The clan system was dismantled, the Gaelic language was suppressed, tartan was banned, bagpipes were banned. An entire culture, its dress, its music, its social structure was declared illegal. From the air, the battlefield is marked by small headstones, each one bearing the name of a clan. Fraser, Cameron, Macintosh, Stewart. The stones are modest, nearly hidden in the heather. But every year, fresh flowers appear, left by descendants of men who died here nearly 3 centuries ago. Culloden is not a place of beauty. It is a place of reckoning. Visitors speak quietly here, even when no one tells them to. The mist that rolls across this moor in the mornings feels heavy, weighted with something the wind cannot clear. There is a phrase sometimes used about this place, the last battle. But for the Highlanders who survived, everything that came after, the forced evictions that emptied entire valleys, the emigration, the erasure of a way of life, was the real battle. And that one never fully ended. Heading east from Culloden, the coast reveals fortresses that were built to withstand exactly this kind of destruction. A flat-topped sea stack connected to the mainland by a single narrow strip of land. On top, the ruins of a castle that has been destroyed and rebuilt at least 4 times over 8 centuries. Dunnottar Castle, south of Aberdeen, has witnessed more sieges than almost any fortress in Scotland. William Wallace burned an English garrison alive within its walls. Mary, Queen of Scots, sheltered here. During the English Civil War, the Scottish crown jewels were smuggled out by a woman who hid them under her skirts while Cromwell's army pounded the gates. From the air, Dunnottar is pure cinema. A ruin perched on a column of rock, the North Sea smashing against its base on 3 sides. The only approach is a steep path cut into the cliff. The stone is pitted with cannonball scars. The walls have been rebuilt over visible wounds. Dunnottar does not hide its damage. It displays it. While Dunnottar endured through violence, one Scottish castle became famous for the opposite, for sheer photogenic calm. Donan sits where 3 sea locks converge. A stone bridge arcs to its island base. Mountains rise behind. It is the most photographed castle in Scotland, and yet almost nothing visible today is original. The entire structure was rebuilt in the early 20th century from ruin. Even Scotland's most peaceful image has a scar beneath it. And then there is the question that Scotland's most famous loch has never answered. Loch Ness holds more fresh water than every lake in England and Wales combined. Its depth reaches over 230 meters. Its water is so dark with peat that visibility drops to near zero within meters of the surface. From the air, the loch stretches 37 kilometers, a dark slash cut through the Great Glen like a wound that never closed. On its western shore, the ruins of Urquhart Castle overlook the deepest point. It is here that the most famous sightings have been reported, the first recorded over 14 centuries ago. No evidence has ever been confirmed, but standing above that darkness, the question refuses to feel absurd. The edge of the known world. Scotland's mainland holds battle scars and mysteries, castles built to endure and legends that refuse to die. But the most haunting chapter in this country's story was not written on land. It was written on islands, scattered across the Atlantic at the very edge of the known world. 64 kilometers west of the Outer Hebrides, further from the British mainland than any inhabited island ever was, a cluster of sea stacks and cliff-walled islands rises from the North Atlantic. From the air, St Kilda looks like the end of the world. And for the people who lived here for over 4,000 years, it was. The main island, Hirta, is ringed by the highest sea cliffs in Britain, vertical walls that drop over 400 meters into water that rarely calms. The neighboring sea stacks, Stacken Arm and Stack Lee, are the tallest in the entire North Atlantic. Seabird colonies numbering over 1 million nest on these vertical faces each summer, gannets, puffins, fulmars, forming one of the largest seabird cities on the planet. For centuries, the St Kilda survived by climbing these cliffs barefoot. Boys were trained from childhood to scale the rock face, harvesting eggs and feathers, their primary source of food, oil, and trade. Over generations, the islanders' feet grew broader, stronger than any mainland Scots, a physical record of a way of life found nowhere else on Earth. But the outside world did not leave them alone. Victorian tourists arrived in the 19th century, bringing diseases the islanders had no immunity to. Influenza swept through repeatedly. Infant mortality climbed. Young men, seeing the mainland for the first time, chose not to return. By 1930, only 36 people remained. 13 men, 10 women, 13 children. In May of that year, the islanders wrote a letter to the British government. The words were simple and devastating. It would be impossible to stay another winter. On August the 29th, 1930, HMS Harebell arrived at dawn. By 7 in the morning, the houses were locked, the fires put out, the doors closed for the last time. Each family left an open Bible on the table and a small pile of oats beside the door, a gesture whose meaning has been debated ever since. The ship pulled away. Hirta became a silhouette, then a blur, then nothing. St Kilda had been home to humans for longer than Rome existed. In a single morning, it was empty. Today, the stone village still stands. The roofless houses form a crescent along the shore of Village Bay. Over 1,000 small stone storage huts, kluts, remain scattered across the hillside, intact. No trees grow here. No one lives here year-round. St Kilda is Britain's only dual UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for both its natural environment and its cultural heritage. It is also, by any measure, the most isolated place in these islands. And standing on Hirta, if you are among the few who make the crossing, there is nothing between you and the open Atlantic but the memory of people who held on for 4,000 years and then quietly let go. While St Kilda vanished into silence, other Scottish islands preserved something just as rare, not through defiance, but through beauty that demanded to be heard. Off the coast of Mull, a small uninhabited island rises from the sea, its interior made entirely of hexagonal basalt columns stacked with geometric precision, as though assembled by hand. Fingal's Cave on the Isle of Skye is 72 meters deep. The columns that form its walls, ceiling and floor were shaped by volcanic cooling, the same geological process that created the Giant's Causeway across the sea in Northern Ireland. Inside the cave, the ocean surges and retreats, creating a sound that has been described as the closest thing to natural music. A deep, resonant booming that changes pitch with the tide. When the composer Mendelssohn visited in 1829, the sound moved him to write the Hebrides Overture. He called the cave the most extraordinary natural structure he had ever seen. The columns are not carved, the acoustics are not designed, and yet, stepping inside, the distinction between nature and architecture dissolves completely. From a cathedral of stone to a cathedral of faith. Iona, an island barely 5 kilometers long, off the southwestern tip of Mull. In 563 CE, the Irish monk Columba arrived here with 12 companions and founded a monastery that would become one of the most important centers of Christianity in medieval Europe. From this island, missionaries carried the faith across Scotland, England, and the continent. The Book of Kells, among the most celebrated manuscripts ever created, is believed to have been at least partially made here. From above, Iona is green and low, surrounded by water so clear it shimmers white over sand. The abbey has been rebuilt. Pilgrims still come. But the island's power is not in its buildings. It is in the quality of its silence. the kind that feels deliberately left. And further north, on the Isle of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides, another stone circle predates even Orkney's monuments. The Callanish stones were erected around 2900 BCE, centuries older than the Ring of Brodgar. "13 stones form the central circle. Rows of standing stones extend outward in a cross-shaped pattern that tracks the moon's most extreme positions, positions that repeat only once every 18 years. No written record explains why. The stones stand in peat bog and Atlantic wind, and they answer nothing. The city that remembers Edinburgh Old Town. From the edge of the Atlantic, we return to the mainland, to a city built on volcanic rock where Scotland's story does not end but begins again every century in a different voice. From above, Edinburgh reveals its secret geometry. A volcanic plug, the remnant of an ancient extinct volcano, rises sharply from the city centre. On top of it sits Edinburgh Castle, visible from almost every point in the city. Stretching eastward along a spine of rock, the Royal Mile descends through a mile of medieval tenements, narrow stone alleyways, courtyards and churches. On one side of this spine, the Old Town, Europe's original skyscraper city, where 7- and 8-story buildings were built in the 16th century because the city walls left no room to grow outward, only upward. On the other side, the New Town, an 18th century grid of Georgian terraces, built when Edinburgh declared itself the Athens of the North and produced in a single century David Hume, Adam Smith, Joseph Black, and the intellectual foundations of the modern world. Old and new, medieval and enlightenment, stone and reason. From the air, the two halves sit side by side like an argument the city has been having with itself for 300 years. Beneath the Old Town, another city exists entirely. The Edinburgh Vaults, a network of underground chambers sealed in the 19th century, stretch beneath the bridges and alleyways. Some have been excavated, many have not. Above ground, the castle has been besieged more times than any other fortress in the British Isles. Below ground, the stories multiply in the dark. Edinburgh has more reported ghost sightings per square mile than almost any city on Earth, or so the locals claim. Whether that reflects the supernatural or simply the weight of lived history is a question the city seems content to leave unanswered. And yet Edinburgh is not a city that dwells in the past. It is the city that invented the modern encyclopedia, modern geology, modern economics. The man who invented the telephone was born here. The detective novel and the historical novel were born here. Edinburgh exported ideas the way other cities exported goods. At sunset, the city glows amber. Volcanic rock, sandstone tenements, church spires, and green hills rising within the city limits. Edinburgh does not choose between its ghosts and its future. It carries both. Within the city itself, minutes from the Royal Mile, an ancient volcano rises 251 meters above the skyline. Arthur's Seat, a peak of ancient basalt 350 million years old, surrounded by a modern capital. Runners climb it before breakfast. From its summit, the city, the Firth of Forth, and the distant highlands are all visible at once. And just south of the city, a 15th century chapel guards its secrets in carved stone. What is hidden in the walls of Rosslyn Chapel? Every surface is covered. Flowers, vines, angels, demons, stars, faces woven from stone leaves, and over 100 carved cubes that some researchers believe encode a piece of music. The chapel's connection to the Knights Templar has never been proven. Its alleged underground vaults have never been excavated. Its carvings include plants native to the Americas, carved decades before Columbus sailed. Coincidence, code, or something else entirely? Rosslyn Chapel refuses to answer. And that refusal, perhaps, is the most Scottish quality of all. From the cracked earth of Glen Coe to the stone beds of Skara Brae, from the silence of Culloden's moor to the last locked doors on St Kilda, from sea stacks that will fall within a lifetime to standing stones that have endured for 5,000 years. Scotland does not offer easy beauty. It offers something older, something earned. A landscape that has absorbed every invasion, every betrayal, every departure, and returned each time to mist and stone and silence. The mountains here were ancient when the pyramids were new. The coastline bends and fractures for over 6,000 miles, each headland shaped by storms that will never stop arriving. And in every valley, on every island, the same truth holds. This land was never tamed, not by Rome, not by England, not by time. And perhaps that is why it haunts, not because of what it lost, but because of what it refused to surrender. Some countries invite you. Scotland stays with you, long after the mist clears, long after the stone fades from view. It does not ask to be remembered, it simply is. Discover the world, explore the extraordinary. See you in the next adventure.